I just finished my OSCP exam, and I'm, just want to talk about my experience throughout it. It was overall pretty good, I'd say. I don't know. Let's kind of just jump right in because I'm not exactly sure where to start. So this may just be a stream of consciousness. I just finished it. It was 2 days ago. Yesterday, I wrote the report. I turned it in. And today I'm, taking care of business. So, what were the worst parts of the exam for me? So not knowing what I couldn't use, it really limited me. So when I was doing my Google searches and everything of that nature, the problem with Google is now it opens up AI in the prompt. So if I do something like, I don't know, I don't even know if this is going to work. What is AI used for? Let's just see if it... Okay, yeah, so this AI overview pops up. And to me, it's really unclear if this is even allowed. So now am I not allowed to use Google? And because of this, I was... anytime I saw this pop up, I'd hit the backspace immediately. And I try to reword my question. Additionally, if you use this, so if you can get a random query in there, and then if you can click on the web tab, you can search without having to worry about Gemini or whatever this is appearing and maybe potentially you cheating, I guess. I don't know. Real world, I don't think this is cheating, but it wasn't clear, and I didn't ask to see if it was okay, which, bad for me. I had heard that you can't use video guides on YouTube. So, let's say that I thought I could go through an attack vector, or I found an attack vector, and I wanted to, I happened to find a video on how to perform it or do it. You couldn't watch it, to my knowledge. So maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me down below if I am, and then I'll know for whatever the next exam is. So let's even if you do nothing else, start with the 80 portion, because you need at least 10 points from it. No matter what, you need 10 points. Right. So, even if it's assumed breach, you're still going to have to get 10 points. And that's going to hinder you. If you make it through all 6 other flags on the standalone machines, you're still going to have one more. And I can tell you, that might be easier said than done. Maybe, depending on what exam you get and who you are. What you can remember, what you've written down in your notes, so on and so forth. The VPN, I hear a lot of people concerned about it. Mine was relatively stable. There were 5 separate instances where I was getting error messages in it about hosts and destinations not being reachable. But right when I would decide to say something in the Proctor chat, it would go away, stop having the problems, and then I would, revert the stacks, I'd revert the servers and start my enumeration again, because it would always seem to happen during scans, and that really slowed things down. It really slowed things down a lot. Hours kind of slow. Which maybe that's not great. These were I'm just thinking. In-map scans, and other forms of enumerative scans. Is that how you would say that? Yeah. So the standalone machines, they were almost exactly what I had expected them to be like. That's what I started with. Got all 3 flags or all 6 flags on those, and I want to say that I got through all of that in like 7 hours. All three of those, 7 or 8 hours. Now that's if you don't count like the few breaks that I took. So I did take a few breaks. And just briefly going back to the standalone machines, if you're doing the Proving Grounds practice labs, I would say that that's a wonderful litmus for what you're going to see. At least all the ones that I did were so similar, so similar. Sure, these were a little bit easier. These Proving Grounds practice labs, they did feel, all the ones that I did, whether it was easy, medium, hard, they all felt like either directly on par or easier, in most cases. And yeah, so if you haven't already, if you feel like you need some extra practice, if you've made it through all of the challenge labs, you really just think that you need more, you might go with the Proving Grounds practice labs. And I specifically did the TJ Knowles list. I've seen other people mentioning another list. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what that is, but this is the one that I used. I did, if we move to, let's see, OSCP, I guess it's this. Oh, this is it, the latest version. So I did all the Windows machines, paid and unpaid, up to here, up to these 3: yellow, blue, green. It didn't work on any of the reds. Didn't really feel like it. Actually, some of these used to be on this section, so maybe I did go through some of them. I did all of the Proving Grounds boxes. All of these are on YouTube. Unfortunately, I've had to take I had to take them down. I had to private them. I need to kind of separate them because I didn't realize that it was against the policies that you can't show them. And so I had to take them all down except for the practice lab, or the play labs. Did all of them. All the play labs are there. All of the ActiveBox labs are there. And that's all that I had done for practicing. But seriously, if you're going through this, these are fantastic examples for what you're going to see. These are pretty great as well. Windows machines are pretty awesome. And I don't know, I guess these are fine. The Windows Active Directory boxes are pretty great. What else? So this is like what I did for practice, and I can tell you that the standalone machines, they really seemed like kind of what you're seeing here in the practice lab. Specifically, if you only do one form of lab, if you only pay for one form of lab for 1 month, I think it's like $20 or $30, I would go with the practice labs because they are the most similar to the Pen-200 standalone machines, as far as I'm concerned. At least the set that I got, they were. And again, I did those first. And then once I had done all 3 of them, I ended up taking like an hour and some minutes break. I took a dinner. I just let the proctor know, I'm going to break. And then I stood up, walked away, and I had dinner. I watched Silo season 2, episode 1, and I came back. And I tried really hard to relax during that time. It's really hard to get your brain out of that mode, and I don't know. I had a hard time exiting like attack mode. I don't know what else you would call it, but yeah, I did. So I won't delay this any further. I am definitely not going to pass, and that is because I only got 60 points, which is I got all 3, both local and root root privileges, administrator level access on the standalone machines. And then when it came to the AD set, I found some really juicy stuff. And one thing I managed to leverage, it ended up to be a nothing burger. And the next thing that I found, I just didn't realize what I had. Now that I've, kind of disengaged and relaxed, it's not, super late in the evening or very early in the morning, and my brain is, normal, and I've had some sleep. I know, I know now that I had everything I needed to perform a certain thing, and I failed. I'm definitely going to fail. I did go ahead and write a report. You might say, why? Why would you write the report? What's even the purpose of writing the report? And it's that it's good to have that experience of like writing the report, specifically for Offsec. Also, I hated the report template that they gave you. And so essentially what I did is I took the report template, I removed all of the formatting out of it, and I went back and formatted it on my own, how I liked it, along with the table of contents, yada yada. And after that, everything was a little bit easier. Before then, I was having problems with like when I would backspace or delete or whatever, it would end up like deleting entire sections, and so I just completely scrapped it and started on my own. So now I have that experience, and when I go back and take the exam in, I believe 4 weeks, OSCP cool off period. Let's look that up. Yeah, here's the exam retake. So I believe it's 4 weeks. Yeah, after 4 weeks from their previous exam. So first time I failed, I've got 4 weeks that I need to wait, which means I took it here. Right? Yeah, Friday, Saturday, today's Sunday. So we're looking at 1, 2, oh hell, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe the 14th or the 21st. I went and moved from the 2024 to 2025 on accident. We're looking at 22, 29, 6, 13. So realistically, I think I could take it here on the 14th. I could do 14, 15, maybe. Probably need to do 21 and 22. But either way, I've got 4 weeks to wait at least, and $250 to pay, I believe, for the exam voucher. I'm getting, I guess, that from Google, and that could be inaccurate, so keep that in your head. So what were my main issues? Kind of go over it real fast. My main issues were not taking proper breaks. When I would get up and move away, I would like be gone for, I don't know, 2 minutes to like use the bathroom or just stand up for literally a few seconds. And then I would sit right back down. I tried to do too many things at one time. So when I'd scan a single network, and one at a time, I'd do an initial scan, and then I would do a detailed scan. So initial scan is just getting all of the ports, just to get all of the ports back. And then I would do another scan now that I have the ports and I can specify them individually in order to get like run default scripts and enumerating versions, SC and SV for Nmap on them. And, if I would hit like a roadblock on one set, I would start moving to another set, or while something was scanning, I would start moving on to something else. So I probably would do the scanning all at once, but in terms of like, further enumeration, take it one step at a time. I would say not starting the 80 set while I was like fresh and very aware was probably a detriment to my success, because the standalone machines, I passed them like pretty easy. pretty easy. At least it felt that way. Like I had a few moments where my syntax on some commands were wrong, or I missed a flag and I really needed the flag in order for, like, I don't know. Yeah, I really needed the flag set on the command in order for this certain parameter or whatever to be utilized. And so that was a failure on my part of, having halfway notes and not full notes. And then also just feeling not feeling safe enough to like Google stuff. That was, real big pain for me. When you're going through like the exam practice, the challenge labs, they were a lot of fun. I did enjoy them a lot. I don't know that, I guess the networks on there could be similar to this one that I felt I didn't really get to dig deep into this network because I had my initial access, the assumed breach scenario. I had username and credentials. I could get onto, one machine and that's about it. That's about it. That there are no flags when you log in. So, that's on me. That's on me. I am extremely prepared to go back into it. You might think like, oh, you just failed it. Don't you want to go back and study? And the answer that I have is no. No, I think that I still have all of the tools, and maybe if I wasn't as tired, I was more like clear. What I should have probably done is taken a nap. To be entirely honest, I should have taken a nap, maybe an hour or 2 hours, and I could have saved myself 4. I could have saved myself 4 if I had taken 1 or 2 hours just to let my brain kind of come back down, come back to normal. By that time, my eyes had like started to glaze over, and everything was blending together. I was developing a headache and neck ache. Yeah, so take care of yourself during the exam, and in terms of like stand up, stretch, relax a little bit, maybe lay down for a little bit, take a nap, set an alarm, blah, 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 eat, drink, all of that good stuff. Don't ignore self-care, really. Really, really don't. But anyway, I next time when I take the exam in, few weeks, I'm going to start with the 80 set. I'm going to get it knocked out. Now that I'm just like really certain that I can do the standalone machines and kind of have a better understanding of what they are like. Again, they were the easiest part. And obviously I can say that because I completed them, but I had a lot of practice doing standalone machines, essentially equivalent of them in my own practice. When I was doing the standalone machines, I had several moments when I was going through and I missed a flag. I didn't add a flag. I had a lot of no freaking way moments where when I added just like a single flag to my command, I got the exact output or whatever I needed. And I face palmed, act genuinely, just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I missed this on at least twice. So make sure that when you have your commands, you have several versions and several scenarios laid out. Even if you never use them in your practice, use some automated tools to assist you in, maybe like developing scenarios in which you might use that tool while you're still, practicing and training. That could have been beneficial to me. I managed to get 6 user and privileged flags. I spent some time on the 80 set and I never managed to get in. I could have fallen into a rabbit hole. There were actually, so when I was doing the 80 set, I saw several paths forward, or I thought I did. I thought I saw several paths forward. And, as I dug into each of them, I could have fallen into a rabbit hole in several cases. I definitely did in one case, and another case I could have. Maybe I just needed to do some more enumeration, or I was missing something. But the big fail. When I was running the scans, they kept dying. The sessions kept dying. The proxy kept failing and kicking off. That was a big problem. I just talked about saying I should have taken longer breaks. I should have taken a nap. Whatever. By the time like 4 o'clock hit, my brain started to light back up. Between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I was pretty relaxed and pretty aware again, but there were a good 4 or 5 hours there in the middle where the life had been sucked out of me temporarily. After I got through those, I started to like kind of lose hope and lose faith. I did have to kind of overcome that mentally of like feeling like I was going to fail. And you might have to do that in the middle as well. But it's important to keep in mind that if you stay calm, if you realize that this is all just an experience and this is not the end, while you're taking it, you'll probably feel more comfortable. I just knew like it came down to, I was probably 19 hours in, 18, 19 hours in. And when it came down to like, I only have 5 or 6 hours left. And I've been working on this one issue for this long. When I had already completed everything else, I knew I only needed 10 points, one flag. I can tell you that took a pretty heavy toll. But maybe 5-10 minutes of, talking it out with myself helped me to really overcome that in the moment and push forward, push on, and go back to square one where I started back over with my enumeration. Maybe I had missed, a service, a port, a process. And so I started back over from scratch. And what did I do? I managed to get a little bit deeper. Not deep enough, obviously, into the network, but deeper. Don't be afraid to, give up on certain sections. There were sections or like attack methods, right? So if something doesn't seem promising or doesn't make sense, don't stick around too long. Move on, get more information, and then maybe come back to attack. To dig deeper on that a little bit. If what you continue to find fails, you can come back to it. I definitely sunk costed myself where it was already like 1 or 2 in the morning. And even though my brain was dead and I should have definitely taken a nap, I didn't because like during that time, I just managed to get a little bit more information and I was feeling pretty good. Even though my brain was still very foggy, I wasn't able to connect those dots even after I managed to obtain this information. And I want to tell you that likely cost me the entire exam. I'm pretty sure I was 1 or 2 commands away from a flag, at least one flag. And I'll definitely regret that a little bit, that I didn't give myself time to relax during the exam, that I just felt like I needed to go, push. That was definitely a moment that I'll look back on a little bit and I'll remember it for next time. My main issues were not taking breaks, doing too many things at a single time, not starting with the AD set where I needed only a single flag, and not properly validating the flags in the command syntax when I was doing that, like running commands, not knowing if it was safe to use certain notes from my challenge labs. So I took notes on all of the challenge labs that I did. And I wasn't sure if it was like okay to use those in order to like review attacks. My tunneling kept failing. I tried using Chisel. I did use Legolo mainly, but the tunnel would still continue to die over and over anytime I would start sending traffic through it. And I just restarted my entire computer, and all of these tabs are now loading properly in the browser. So likely I probably needed to talk to the proctor and tell them, hey, I need to restart my entire computer, not just my VM, but my entire computer, because it is, it's going slow. I'm having some problems with it. Things aren't loading. Or I could have probably tried to like revert it. That would have been devastating. But maybe just restarting it instead of reverting. I did take a snapshot before I started the exam. That way I could go back if I had to. Yeah, I probably should have just taken more breaks and longer breaks, give myself more time to think over the information that I had instead. But I just really felt like I needed to stay in it, and continue to like enumerate services and restart my enumeration and dig and just not stop. And by not stopping and not slowing down and not thinking about the information I had, I really screwed myself. So take take breaks, take time to yourself to think about what you have. You don't always need to be typing and going and moving through through the network. You can just think. Okay? You can just take a second and think. What could I have done better? I would have started with the AD set. I would pad my notes with various situations and proper syntax for different commands and different services. Definitely going to add some more notes on ports and services, not because they came up here, or they were useful here, but because I would have liked to know, without like beyond a doubt that certain things were not valid. I would have liked to have gotten better clarification on what is and is not allowed. Specifically, is it okay that Google pops up with AI generated freaking messages? And can I use articles from hat tricks and CTF walkthroughs and the challenge labs that I had already done that were my own notes, but they were from the challenge labs? Is that okay? I would have taken more breaks. I also was writing my report at the same time that I was performing the attack. So several additional hours in total in the lifespan of the whole thing were spent report writing. And that's because I was concerned I wasn't going to have enough screenshots or time to go back. Now, thinking about it, I probably should have just gotten in and then reverted the machine, gone back and performed the attack again, gotten all of my notes and commands and all of that. Now that I knew the way in, instead of starting to notate how I was going to exploit a certain service, realized that I couldn't exploit it and then have to erase those notes that I had written down. I used Obsidian to take notes. Obsidian here, hopefully nothing crazy pops up. Yeah, cool. So I used Obsidian take notes. This is obviously not the VM that I took it on. This is my Kali, my practice lab, my practice, whatever. This is what I use for CTFs, write-ups, hack the box, try hack me, so on and so forth. But I use this for notes. It was kind of great because once you have it in this form, you can see that I'm toggling between a preview form and an editor form. Once I had it in editor form, I could just copy everything. Just literally take all of this, copy it out, and then I could paste it into the report. From there, I was able to go back and edit this information in the report template without ever having any problems. It was literally just formatting everything I had written down, how to do it, what I did, why I did it, the commands that I had ran during the time, and why I did that, every single thing. So I would say that using Obsidian here, for me personally, was excellent because I could just copy paste that information, and it propped up pretty well into what I used was Word, but you could also use, I can't remember. There's another tool set in Linux that you can use. I did not use that. I used Word. Yeah, although I failed by a single set of points, I suppose, single point set. I don't exactly feel disappointed, a little irritated, but not disappointed because I made it through 60% of the exam. I really feel like a weight is kind of lifted. I knew that even when I failed and it was 6:45 a.m., I hadn't taken a nap. I had been up for over 24 hours because I had trouble sleeping the night before. I just really wanted to get to the exam. Still felt the weight lifted off of me. And maybe it's because I know what to expect now, but I don't know. I'm really just not even concerned with this exam anymore. I'm going to take it again as like a milestone thing. And, places that I've seen hiring still want it. And so I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pass it on the next go around in a month or two, hopefully just a single month. And from here on out, I'm going to be switching gears. I'm going to go heavily focus on web app penetration testing and open source research along with job hunting. Because I don't have the OSCP, and yet I believe I'm very, very capable of, performing penetration testing itself. This mindset of I can still do this. I may have failed, but not forever. Only this one thing. I've been very successful in other forms of penetration testing, other penetration tests. I'm very successful at work, converting ideas. Even though I don't have a pen testing job, I have been able to move. Luckily, as of last week, I convinced my bosses to kind of give me an opportunity to detect and perform remediation on vulnerabilities that have already been detected and that I am seeing as I'm going through our network. And I've already managed to knock out like 4 criticals. I'm a misconfiguration away from knocking out a 5th critical. I'm working with my systems administrator team and my management to get these problems I've identified resolved, or I'm just explaining to them what I'm going to change on the network in order to make it more secure, why I'm making it more secure, and then they'll ask qualifying questions, be like, okay, well, what could this damage? How could this impact us? What would this hurt? And then once I've resolved the criticals, I've created a case in our case management software, and I'm creating a report for my C-suite. So my IT director, who will then take that report and give that to our executive contacts, executive level suite, whatever, for review so that they can understand what's happening. And I'm doing this partially to allow my company to SOC 2, like, I guess we're just trying to align with SOC 2 and then get that certification. But these are all skills. And even though my job title is not that, it's not penetration tester, it's not security anything. It's actually some junior in my title. I requested to do like a presentation. I gave the presentation to my entire team. I gave away a TCM certification and some gift vouchers for my company's reward system. And then the next day I was asked if I wanted to do this job. I'm technically, I guess, doing it for less pay than maybe I should, but I'm still doing the job and I'm still getting this experience, and I'm still going to put all of this on a resume and find out how to word it. But you don't need to be disheartened or discouraged just because you fail, and I'm not. You should take failures like mine and allow them to motivate you. I'll take this fail in the chin and keep my same plan. Nothing has changed. I'm going to expand my web app pen testing capabilities. I'm going to move into a cybersecurity role from this IT position. I hope that you've learned something from this and feel a little bit better about you and realize that failure is not the end of your plans, but should be the beginning. For me, we're going through Port Square Academy, baby. We're going through all of it. Maybe we'll even do the Burp Suite Certified Practitioner. I'm going to try and sign up for the free pro version for like a month. I'm going to go through all of the academy during that time. I'm going to document all of those steps. And then we're going to start back up on HackerOne. We're going to start back up on BugCrowd. We're going to start back up on, Integrity? Yeah, Integrity. We're going to start back up on Integrity. And we're going to I'm going to dedicate, an hour a day, 2 hours a day to bug hunting. On top of that, CV hunting, baby. CV hunting. We're going to get a couple of these in our name. And to do that, I'll probably use something like Electron.js, some of these applications in here, maybe perform, pen tests on them. Granted, they have VDPs or vulnerability disclosure programs. There are a lot here to look through, and these are just sitting on electron.js.org apps. So like people use these, and it's open source, it's open to me. Additionally, we could use something like Docker to find like something to hack on and pen test against, so that we can work for these OSCPs, so we can work for these CVEs. I'm definitely going to do this. This is a big one. I've already kind of started going through a couple of applications, and then during all of that, even while I'm going through Burp Suite Professional, or not Burp Suite Professional, Web Security Academy, even when I'm going through Integrity, HackerOne, and other bug bounty programs, I'm going to be applying for jobs. Okay, look. 184 open jobs on Upwork, 6,398 ZipRecruiter, 117 Glassdoor, 13,000 plus on LinkedIn. Some of these are duplicates. You can see 118 again in Glassdoor, 121 on whatever that is. So the jobs are there. We just need to align our skills with that job. And although I have several certifications already, they're not industry recognized yet. Although in time, I'm sure that they will be. But for me, this is kind of what the future holds. And this is what's my plan, to begin with. I'm going through OSCP, going to pass that. And then I was going to dive deep into web apps and bug hunting, CVEs, and job hunting, because I'm looking for a penetration test company that's allow me to hack long term and just dedicate my life to this. Love it. This is a fantastic craft. I hope that you love it. I hope that this helps you have a better understanding of what you might experience during, whether good or bad,